All right. So I've been putting things off for a long time. This is a channel called Casual Ascent with Josh. You know what? I'm obese. I keep screwing around. I keep putting things off to the point where I'm just sitting on my couch, hanging out with my family. My wife and my kid are next to me. I have an easy day, and I plan a walk. I plan different things that I can do, and here I am. I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna get on WoW because apparently that's what I'll do in the background. And this is a classic server, no one cares. But I'm sitting here. I'm a Christian man, whether you're a Christian or not. Uh, science is actually what brought me to Christ. But that's another story for another time. I'm over 300 pounds. I didn't expect to live to. I'm about to be 36 next week. I'm 35 now. Didn't really expect to live this long. I had a long history of very deep depression. I know. Let's use the buzz name of Andrew Tate, who doesn't believe in it for himself. Oh, that's kind of makes sense. It's probably useful to live in some level of delusion, like he says. Um, but we figure things out. So, walking, eating. I've been paying some kid to coach. He actually has fantastic plans, fantastic options, and I just don't listen. Right? I'm at a point where I don't feel motivated. I am just happy to be alive at where I'm at even today. Uh, I mean, my wife is amazing. She's basically Amish. I have a son who's a little over or about a year and a half now, and it's been awesome. I have scripture that I've been able to get into the Bible more and more. I mean, we're cult members over here where we go twice on Sundays and Wednesdays, and God willing, we'll go even more. And here I am struggling with motivation. My boy's making noises and he's awesome. But struggling with motivation because getting out of the house, I have everything I've ever dreamed of. I'm going to be honest. That sounds crazy. I mean, we're not wealthy. I mean, we live in a Amish home, like an Amish owned property. We don't rent for much. We do okay with finances. I'm a veteran, so I do get VA benefit for disability. I work full time with a very, very successful company. Every company has its issues, of course. I really have been blessed with some amazing opportunities, just to experience church and the families there. And I'm sitting here wondering what the heck am I even going to do? Like, I am obese, and I'm like, all right, I'm watching YouTube. Let's record a video. I've been putting off. I've made a number of channels that I don't actually make content for. This one is actually a parody or a play off of Casual Descent because me and my buddy, who he and I just, whether we complain or talk, it's the bro podcast mentality on that one, right? We made a channel, we talked, but we never fully recorded. He was a truck driver for a while. Now, being blessed that he can become a helicopter pilot, he almost has his personal license and he's moving through to become commercial. And man, we're just trying to figure it out. So easy, right? Hey, go outside and walk. Go go to the gym. I'm sore right now. I went to the gym Tuesday after work with a coworker. That was a blessing. But man, it's not that. It is that simple. And yet here I am screwing around on my little WoW classic mage over here. You guys can judge his gear. He's not all best in slot or anything, of course. Look at him. Not even perfect. Then I have this random overpowered thing. So you guys don't care. My wife's dying over here. I think she's half laughing at me, but it's okay. Even before I made this thing, I'm like, all right, I gotta fill my gems that I got, my little ruby, my little mana gems. I gotta make these filled in so when they judge my screen, I still have stuff from like rating. I'm a clicker. I do not use macros much, and I actually click through my DPS. So if my guildies see this, they can judge me. My DPS is alright, so leave me alone. I'm not a min maxer, but this isn't really meant to be about WoW. But it's funny because it's in my background. So what do I do? We go to scripture, maybe. At church last night, we read Psalm 1. And he had us read it 3 times. I read it 4 times because I'm an overachiever. Um, what's interesting about Psalm 1 in the Bible, it's the Old Testament, for anyone who doesn't know. We don't know who wrote it, for sure. We're not sure. It runs themes from Ezra, who's a prophet, um, because of its focus on the law. Many people believe it also may be written by, like they believe it could have been written instead by Solomon, who was considered the wisest man in existence. The Bible says he was the wisest man. God bestowed him with wisdom that he prayed for. And no man since has been as wise. And what's so cool about Solomon is he screwed up, uh, right? Um, and he has to reflect on this. What is it, Ecclesiastes? So I don't know why I asked because I literally just read it and I know this, but I like to check with my wife. She's awesome. She knows the Bible. She grew up in the church. I did not. I was agnostic, never atheist. I don't really understand atheism. How do you know? The whole concept of the whole universe. You have, you know, 1% of the universe and 99%. So I'm like, agnostic. Now, there's definitely, I have a very close friend who's starch atheist. And I believe I understand why. I probably am wrong, but it's just the idea that the version of God that he understood, that he had been taught, is not real. And then all these other faiths, as he understands them, are disappointing. Like his prayers may have not have been answered in the way that he had expected. This man, this friend of mine, has lost his father. Um, you know, death by taking his own life, and that's not easy. Um, I mean, pointlessly put these things on for what I'm doing. It doesn't matter, and it's brutal. So this is not a perfect first little thing. Um, I specialize in like mental health stuff, right? My bachelor specialize. I freaking work in um, water treatment and basically equipment operation and coordination with different customers. Take river water and turn it into clean water. It's what I do for a living right now. But I've done a lot of stuff. I've worked on helicopters in the Marine Corps. I was an avionics man, automatic flight control system 6323 for HMH 463 in Kaneohe Bay, Hawaii. I was nowhere near a perfect Marine. Lord knows if for some reason I ever get a successful channel, God willing, uh, I am. I have an entire life of mistakes, disgrace, problems. I cheated on my ex-wife after the military. That woman was a fantastic woman. I had a lot of problems, demons, sin, corruption, just in me that I just had a lot of self-hatred that really came to fruition. And the fruit of that was a lot of bad things. And I totally own that. Um, I don't believe I deserve forgiveness. Maybe maybe none of us do, but by the grace of God, or at least the placebo that is God in my life, but I do believe. Um, I say that more to allow for an openness of dialogue. For some people, they know my past and they'll accept a placebo concept because they're like, yeah, you're a lot better. I'm honest now. I really aim not to lie. Lord knows I probably still mess that up. I even just talked to my pastor about how I slipped what would essentially be a white lie. I was like, "What's going on? Like, why is the pointless? It's old habits slipping in. You know, lie to myself, lie to others. You know, um, I struggled with suicidal ideations for a long time. 2018, so about it's 2026 now. About 8 years ago, I really struggled a lot when I was 27, 28. That was when I cheated and had my and divorced my ex-wife. Um, I mean, by the end of it, after she understood what I was doing, it was fairly mutual. She's remarried, and I pray that she's doing well. I give her the space, and well, after the Marine Corps, I joined another fantastic, all these companies, big corporatism, capitalism, whatever the heck you want to call it these days. They all have their interesting paths. But I learned a lot. So I went into a cranes, overhead crane, steel mill type, wall walker, gantries. I ended up doing some port cranes for a while. I've done a lot of nuclear power, not a lot, but I've done a number of nuclear power plants. Let me see here, at least four, five, five nuclear power plants I've been in. Uh, and, we have a lot of opportunities. And let me figure out my stuff here. I'm screwing it up. There we go. Think I'd know what I'm doing after doing this so long. So, why am I making this? Why am I talking about my past suicidal ideations? I have a bachelor's in psychology, which makes no sense, from San Diego Christian College. Started going there so I could try to connect with my ex wife, try to figure out this Christ thing. At the time, I still was definitely not a believer. It really didn't make sense. So, after the military, I was what, 23 or so, 24. I like to pretend like I study multi-dimensional theories, right? M theory. Oh, someone else is here. Monsters. M theory, and so like superstring theory perspectives. I love studying that and pretending like I have any idea what I'm saying. Whenever I explain it to you, I'm sure I'll get corrected heavily in that my entire life is a lie in my understanding of each of the dimensions from 1 to 10, 0 to 10, whatever you want to say. The synonymous nature of 0 and 10. Fun. All right, someone else is here. So, got married, figured out life, screwed it all up, really gained a huge amount of weight. So, even in the middle, I've always been considered heavy, pretty much my whole life. And I screwed it all up with gaining weight, just letting myself be anxious, depressed, working huge hours, eating on the road, and just letting myself not care. And here I am today. I care immensely. I really like hanging out with people in the community. And I'm reflecting on even like what I'm saying now, just this live process. I'm just saying, all right, I want to help people. Lord knows I need more help. I need help more than they do. So okay, well, I got my stuff together, it seems, in that we're financially in a good spot. We have a great family, we have great friends. My wife is healthy. She's pregnant with baby number two right now. She's due Thanksgiving. I basically have everything I could have wanted, right? That level of contentment. I feel very wealthy in that sense. Um, and I believe that is not kind of, I believe that that has made me lazy. I really am so thankful for what I have today that it has made me lazy. In that, when I was a kid, I was very angry in general. I was very angry at my dad, especially after 10th grade. Well, that motivated me. I was a heavy kid. It's about 200. 218 pounds. 10th grade, probably not even fully at height yet. I'm 5'11 today. I was very angry at my dad. My family has a history of like boxing. My uncle's a fantastic trainer in New Jersey, but he's 70 now and he's still doing it. It's awesome. And I said, all right, let's go start boxing. I was swimming, but the swimming didn't cut me because of the way I was eating. But I took my weight very seriously in boxing. I started. The coach told me if I hit 178 pounds, they'll start taking me seriously. So boom, 3 months in the 180s already, and I was working out about 4 days a week, say an average of 3 hours a night after school every day. Kept going. My grades for 11th grade the year after were actually really, really good, but I felt a lot emptier. It was interesting. So I felt on average I would be perceived as looking better, but I felt emptier. And I was in shape and I started dating an exceptionally intelligent girl. I almost said woman, but it was 11th grade. Um, very good person, very intelligent, very capable, very patient. Um, and I just started becoming disconnected from not just her, but life. That winter, around Christmas, New Year's time, I ended up breaking up with her. No fault of hers. I was trying to figure out how to connect. A lot of this today I do is amount to godlessness. We can get all psychological with it as well. Um, I was previously diagnosed with certain things. Nowadays, we pretty much culminated to PTSD and maybe some level of spectrum of autism in which I had maladaptive. Well, that's a judgment word, right? But because I'm really into IFS, internal family systems. This maybe I have some ADHD with the way I'm jumping subjects, but who doesn't? I uh, I had some uh, interesting ways to adapt to that, and it can cause some disconnect, right? Where I just would disconnect from my emotions. In fact, early I would try to disconnect to try to not dissociate, but not feel, just because my emotions are so big, right? I just didn't want to feel that. I didn't want to think the amount that I think. Uh, the reason I'm passing some of these cages for anyone who knows this game, which I highly doubt, is I know there's a second person around, so I'm just getting myself into an initial rotation. Um, yeah. So this is what people do. Okay. Most people don't do this. This is why I do it because there's a hole in the market, and it's actually the most efficient gold per hour besides running GDKPs. GDKP is where in this game you can raid, like so you get with 20 or 40 people, you run a hard end game boss dungeon, and then you bid gold. I'm poor. Bid gold on things, and then everyone gets a cut at the end. That is usually the better gold, and it's more fun. But right now it's early in the morning ish, and we're just screwing off. And my boy's probably ready for his nap from the way he's acting. Yeah, I think he's leading Mama to nap. Maybe I don't know what they're doing. So I'm not sure if I want to make this long, short. This is a breaking the ice. This is, you know what? We're just gonna do it. We're gonna have a bad camera. We're gonna have a bad microphone. I don't even know what to have in the background, and instead of you staring at me, you get this because all of us have ADHD from shorts. At least now you can judge me doing some random mindless thing in your background that doesn't fully make sense, but it is at least something. So, what's the goal of this channel? We're going to probably record me losing some weight. So, I might cut in a scale, I might cut in a walk, and we're going to figure this out. Am I likable? I have no idea. Am I honest? Probably too much so. I'm being mindful of how I talk because I know YouTube does some algorithm stuff, and I know that there's certain words and sentiments that can't really be shared, if you want to use certain words that people use to get by. But I want to be respectful of that. I want to keep things clean. Lord knows life is difficult. I lost two children to the woman that I had cheated on my ex-wife with. Um, she understood that she didn't want. That woman understood that she did not want. Number one, she didn't want children with me. I was clear. She did not want to be tied down. I can't speak for her in total. I believe that she felt unsafe, but there was a lot of lying. She was lying to me. I was lying to her. Neither of us trusted each other. I, to this day, don't fully understand her, and that's okay. At the end, what really broke away so that I could break away was I defined, per the DSM, the Diagnostic and Statistic Manual for Psychology, I defined borderline personality disorder to her, not diagnosing her because I was way too close to that situation, but I defined it like bluntly to her. And she told me that's what she wanted in a relationship. And okay, I'm glad that she was that honest with herself and me. And I knew that I could not have that continuing in a relationship. So I had never seen her again after that specific conversation. Um, she had reached out, I believe, one more time, and I did not respond. Just I understood that dynamic was very painful to me. And my basically Amish wife is walking around back there. I call her that because of her hobbies, and she crochets. She does a fantastic job. We do custom crochet design together. We're actually playing around with starting a basically Amish Etsy store for her. If you want to basically Google that, you probably or Etsy that, you probably find it. Maybe I'll put a link in the description. I'm learning how all this works. I'm not trying to make a bunch of ads right now. She's carrying in, I assume, the Walmart order. What's that, my love? Yeah, the Walmart order. Yeah. So that's how lazy we've gotten. We don't even walk to Walmart. We just order it. We're blessed to be able to afford that. Not everyone can. We're blessed that we can keep that we are so low stressed. Oh my gosh. So like the amount of I know that the word privilege is very annoying, but you know what? The amount of privilege that I have to be obese is incredible. What do I have to? I have so little to complain about. I barely want to complain about being obese, but I want to be able to run with my children when they get older. I want to be able to see my grandchildren, and I know that I'm prone to cancer. I'm prone to heart disease. I mean, everyone has cancer and heart disease in their families at this point. I'm balding, right? I don't mind the balding. I'm at the age. It's not a big deal anymore, and I adore my wife immensely. We now navigate these uh, these thoughts. This is going to be the most imperfect video, I hope, but I'm just glad I'm breaking the ice. I should do this. I'm just going to keep going until I get what I'm actually looking for here, because why not, right? I'm just gonna make this until I find that thing, and we're just gonna have fun with it. So you guys don't know what the heck I'm looking for. So I am looking I don't even have my bags organized. My goodness. Normally, I organize it slightly different for this stuff down here. I have an auto organizer, but all this trash I don't want to be get mixed in. Go over there. There you go. Look at all this. Look at me organized. So this stuff doesn't sell for anything. Those numbers don't mean anything. This is all vendor trash that is pointless. But we are here for what's called the big iron fishing pole. Sells for over 100 gold, and we geek it up. This is what the Bible called me to do, right? Yeah. So judge me. He who judges two shall be judged in equal measure, I suppose. Lord knows I deserve a lot of judgment. Like I said, what have I done to redeem from past issues? Well, we're not saved by our works, but Lord knows we all try to do something to balance out the yin yang, the energies. We want to fight for the right side, want to fight for good. Yin Yang's Taoism, if anyone doesn't know. Um, the Tao. I got a degree in psychology and I left technology for a while, became a certified peer support specialist. Don't worry, I got fired from it. Fantastic company. Oh my gosh. I think that the program is great. There's a lot of political agenda behind some of it, but that's okay. Like that's just going to be part of that entity. That's part of that beast, and I love those people. Like, I think they're all great. I understand why I wouldn't be a good fit. I'm bad with ambiguity. I think peer support does have quite a lot of gray lines on what is appropriate, what is not. Um, a lot of it has to do with unspoken rules. Again, this is maybe where those autistic traits come in. I logically don't understand them. I don't perceive the pattern, the implied pattern recognition others have about it. I'm not incompetent. So, like, I can compensate for a lot, but I'm no genius. Like, I miss a lot as well. And the people I surround myself with also miss a lot as well. And so the issues that got me fired are common sense for a normal job. And I got too comfortable with, I knew I was getting too comfortable with being myself, where one of my clients, fantastic person, um, I thought she would be able to evolve really well into a peer support specialist. To become a peer support specialist, which is a growing program around the United States, you need to have a previous history with diagnosis or struggle psychologically, right? So, like, basically, you had anxiety, you can become a peer support specialist. There's a lot more to it. Look into it, talk to employers, talk to training outlets. I'm not trying to be an official stance for something I got fired from, and because clearly I'm missing parts of the puzzle. That's okay. I don't. I fully understand that that is me and not the system. It is definitely a Josh problem. All right, and I'm okay with that because I was very transparent with people. So anyway, this person thought would become, like, I think it would be a great goal for her to work towards becoming one. So I had someone else shadowing, a new hire shadowing me, another person who's just more professional, um, more boundary filled. I felt that the people I worked for really wanted more mini psychologists and less peer support, but it also could have been me misunderstanding. I felt that a lot of my job, 30% of my job, would have been talking about my own story so that they can understand, sharing my own life experiences so that my close, depending on, of course, the peer, the client, it would be called a peer, depending on the peer, of course. Some need different variable percentages. But this particular one, I'd say, was 30% standard. And so I had someone shadowing me, a new employee, just to kind of get an idea. I was doing well with my supervisor at the time. That lady is hardcore. She is, I'm sure, still. I hope she's still rocking it. Um, I don't know. I try not to. bother people who don't want to be bothered, and try not to. And we go. So it's probably a little clip there. The recording software I have is literally free at this point, and so I might have to do a light edit. That's not a problem. Don't even remember what I was talking about. So guess what? We get to jump subjects because at this point we're figuring it out. But no, I'm nearly done. So we're gonna just not worry about the item. We're just gonna get to the point of why are we here? We'll lose some weight. We're gonna figure out keeping ourselves alive. We're gonna try to bring some hope into it. None of this makes sense. Politically, I'm a moderate. I suppose most people are these days. That's also could be a delusion. I don't think that one side's better than the other. Both sides are screwed up in different ways. Probably would lean conservative simply because of some of the Christian values on not really liking the situation with like what happens to children in the womb. But we all have our journeys, and that's not what I'm going to focus on here. So my baby's finally taking a nap, and we're going to clip in, and we're going to start working out. So next video probably won't be a WoW background. We're going to start moving, and just check out the scale, have a faster pace. This is just a quick intro to who the heck I am, I guess. All right, guys. Thanks for watching me swim around pointlessly. This is Hammerpeg. Not playing. This is Josh. Hammerpeg was a stupid name. My buddy came up with it to make fun of this character. This character was literally made to look as stupid as possible, and it looks fine, honestly. And of course, I meant to post this video because I got the big iron fishing pole as I'm closing out. Because this is what happens. I'm going to be obnoxious here, guys. This here, I literally just dropped. I'm not overlapping words with that edit. Maybe. No conspiracy theory it up. This has been my life. Since I've been saved, just things like this happen. I'm not even really that surprised. Um, there's progress being made. God is good. I mean, he doesn't care about a stupid. I doubt he cares about me making gold in WoW. All right, no one cares. Excuse my uh, junction for language there, but he cares about you. All right, he cares about me. Christ cares about each of us, and if you don't believe in him, he cares about you just as more. There's multiple stories about you in the Bible for those who don't believe in him. All right, and they're not out of anger; they are excitement. Yeah, God loves you. You're not dead yet. But that's not. I don't know if that's what this channel is going to end up being about. But yeah. All right, guys. I appreciate you. Thanks for watching. If you watched, I really don't expect this video to get much traction. It's too long. It's too weird. It's too awkward. And honestly, I didn't even get that deep. Probably go more awkward and more deep later. But God bless. Good vibes bless. Whatever you want to call it. Some Christians don't like when I say, I hope goodness for you. I understand that because the only thing in their minds is that is good as God. That makes sense. We can go into a whole philosophy and theology there later. All right, I can keep yammering, as anyone who knows me in real life knows. So I'm gonna get this thing slightly edited and uploaded just to break the ice. All right, all. See you soon. Now to figure out how to stop this thing. Yes. All right.